transferred back to Riva, the reporter and the police. "I can't believe how fortunate we were," the old lady was saying, fanning herself. "Not everyone would have stepped in to save my grandson. Those thieves had a knife, and who knows what else." "And a gun, if I'm not mistaken," the reporter commented. "But your movers disarmed the thieves pretty easily. Amazing! Let's see that again." The footage replayed in slow-mo. Yep, there went Cash charging in to save the day and pounding the crap out of two guys while Hector held the other criminal down easily. With any luck, the burglars wouldn't sue Cash and end up sinking the company. Reid sighed. Cash had done the right thing. If only it hadn't been caught on camera.
"I look good," Cash rumbled smugly. "You look lethal. I hope we don't lose clients because they're scared of us."
Reid waited out the rest of the segment as the reporter interviewed a few more witnesses. She tossed her long blonde hair and nodded at the van. "What makes this story so fascinating is that Vets on the Go is a local moving company that only employs veterans." She walked up to Cash and Hector, who'd been talking to a cop. Reid glanced over at the lug lying on the couch.
"Man, we really look badass,"
Cash said, smiling.
"Shut up."
On TV, the cop left Cash and Hector to the reporter, who asked, "Cash Griffith, you run Vets on the Go, is that right?" Cash nodded, said nothing. The reporter tried again. "So you employ veterans?"
"Yep. Vets know how to follow orders and get the job done. We're honest and we don't mess around."
Cash planted his hands on his hips, and Reid saw bloody knuckles. At least the dark shirts they wore didn't show stains. Then Cash added, capping the interview,
"Semper fucking fi."
Lovely how he'd had to be bleeped on the news. Next to him, Hector laughed. More bleeping followed as Cash added,
"Motherfuckers think they can rob honest people. What horse shit. I'd love to kick their asses all over again."
The reporter gave a weak smile, but she stayed close to Cash all the same. Reid hated to admit it, but his brother did look good on camera. If he could just shut up and keep looking big and strong, they might actually reap something positive out of this mess, like more business they could desperately use. Hector cleared his throat, and the reporter gratefully turned to him.
"You know, it's tough for a lot of military folks to find civilian jobs after they get out. You leave the service and return home with nothing lined up. Vets on the Go gave me and my brother a job, and we love it. We work hard and we do the job right. Thank God someone has a brain,"
Reid muttered, and ignored the finger Cash shot him. The reporter looked at Hector in awe. Nearly as large as Cash, but much more affable, Hector drew notice without trying. His dark skin showed off his bulging biceps. Whereas Cash looked like a bruiser you wouldn't want to meet in a dark alley, Hector had the look of a guy you wanted to trust. That smile nailed it. The reporter took a step closer to him, and Cash ducked away, ignoring the cameras to return to work. Hector continued to schmooze the reporter while Cash lifted boxes and moved furniture into the van. He moved at a steady pace, and watching him, Reid admitted to being impressed at how much his brother could carry. Thank God he'd insisted the team start wearing the new Vets on the Go shirts last week. They were dark blue with red and white lettering, which showed a lot less mess than the white shirts they'd started with. The reporter wrapped up the segment, and Cash yelled for Hector to,
"Hurry the hell up and help. We haven't got all damn day."
Reid groaned again. Next to him, Cash chuckled.
"What? He was taking forever flirting up that chick. Please tell me you didn't call her a chick to her face. Not to her face, but maybe I did later, when we got hot and heavy after the broadcast."
Reid blinked. "Are you serious?" Cash snorted.
"No, dumbass. I was too busy moving shit to hit on the woman. Look, we had a job to do. Sorry if I wasn't as smooth about it as you would have been, but that mess put us behind schedule. We have to go over tomorrow morning and finish up, so we won't get to our next job until the afternoon."
"Great." Reid blew out a heavy breath.
"Well, with any luck, we won't lose customers because of your inability to resist a fight." "Hey!"
That wasn't fair, and Reid knew it. But today was just one more incident to add to the bucketful belonging to Cash. After 14 years, Cash had separated from the Marine Corps due to a hell of a mess with some commanding officers. Though Cash had no doubt been in the right, he'd mouthed off at the wrong time and offended someone with influence.